You go to 2019, July 10th. This looks actually very similar to the, oh, this is the fucking before image. This isn't even 6 months ago. This was taken July 10th, 2019. So already this is proving this was not 6 months. What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about the professional gamer Tfue and his recent transformation. So expectedly at this point, anytime there's like, it's kind of cool because it's like, I don't even have to research this stuff at all or have to subscribe to any like channels or anything now at this point. It's like the stuff just gets, I get tagged in it or it gets sent to me. It's like, what do you think of this? So it's like the content is brought to me now. I don't even have to fucking dig for it anymore. So this is brought to my attention earlier yesterday. A bunch of people sent it to me. I didn't really have time to do a video, so I'm putting it out today. And you know, people are on the fence about this. So I post this crazy picture. He has like a very good physique. Like frankly, anybody would, well, maybe not like hardcore bodybuilders, but like the average male would be very, very happy, even after working out for 5+ years, to look like this. And he shows his before image, and there's a drastic difference. He was pretty much just a rail, not skinny fat, but you know, such a little amount of muscle mass that you can't even really see the visible abs through the minor amount of fat he has. So there's a huge difference between the two. And he says in the caption, 6 months ago, I was frail. So the first thing you have to consider before you jump to conclusions is the fact that the before and afters are designed in a way to show the most drastic change possible. So this is probably the most unfavorable image he has of himself from 6 months ago, if it is even 6 months ago. And then this image on the right is the most favorable, with a pump, with perfect lighting, perhaps with Photoshop, perhaps with whatever else. But still, objectively looking at it, you can only fudge with the lighting and the sharpening and the contrasting and the whatever so much, where you have to show what your physique sort of actually looks like. And I dug a bit to see if I could find a not posed version of this shot. And I found an image that was posted by somebody, I guess, I don't know if it's his photographer or something. And it was an Instagram story by Alex Tellman. And it has a picture of Tfue in the back here. And he looks pretty good. Like, it doesn't look like it's that, like, obviously, you know, it's not a close-up. You can't really see any details from here, but just judging from the shot across the gym here, that's not meant to be, you know, the edited final after photo. You can see the trap still, you can see the delts, you can see the arms, you can see the overall mass. The guy put on a shit ton of muscle in 6 months. So, is it natural? The first thing I would do is look at this guy's age. So he's 22 years old. So it's not, you know, some of the most drastic YouTube transformations that go viral, they're not all necessarily just because a guy hyper responded to training. A lot of it is some people, they post their transformations from when they were like 13 years old up to like 22. So you'll see not just their progression from working out from a baseline of like 17, 18 years old, it's them working out from like 13, where they've like barely hit puberty. And then obviously you're gonna get gains from puberty just by going through puberty, not even working out. So with Tfue though, he's done puberty. I didn't know how old he was, so I had to check this first before I made any assumptions. I didn't know if this would be, like, I assumed he was in his early 20s, and he's 22 years old. So this is not just like some kid hitting puberty and exploding or something, obviously, because you could easily go back and look at his images from, you know, way back when he started his Instagram in like 2016, 2017, 2018, and find images of him, you know, as a twig. And if he was like, you know, 14 years old or something, then like the transformation might seem a bit more reasonable. And who knows if the image taken before was 6 months ago to begin with. So, you know, some of these people use like puberty gains to like artificially inflate their working out gains kind of thing. So anyways, it's not that. This guy is 22 years old. He is a full-grown adult, and he has been for a bit now. So when you go back to the start of his Instagram in 2016, you can actually find some shots of his physique where he's pretty fucking lean. Like here back in June 13th, I can see like a fully outlined six-pack here. Back in, I don't know, this is June 27th, 2016. You can see abs here. here in August 4th, 2016. Visible six-pack again. And sure, he's a very skinny kid, but there's not a whole lot of guys that are genetically blessed to the point where they're walking around with shredded abs all the time. Like, you always have those token kids in your high school who are, you know, genetically blessed and have, you know, visible abs, and they're always, you know, at the parties showing off their abs and shit. And it seems stupid in, you know, hindsight, because it's like, dude, you were a fucking twig. You're like, congrats on your abs. It's like abs on a skinny guy is like big tits on a fat chick. I forget what the saying is. Something like that. So, but with that being said, he has better genetics than people in his, you know, age bracket still. Like, he's on the upper percentile of genetics, at least metabolism and body composition wise, to some extent. He doesn't seem like, you know, a mesomorph where he holds a ton of size, but he's obviously lean without really trying. And then, you know, in 2016, some more images of his abs. And if you go forward to 2018, 2019, he starts to take on more of like the skinny fat look, where he kind of, I don't know, maybe started gaming way more, doing less, you know, energy expenditure through whatever activities he was doing. And he's more sitting on chairs all the time. So he's just chilling, and he has no muscle mass, and he's gaining a little bit of fat. So he starts to lose the abs. Like, you can see November 2nd, 2018, the six-pack's gone. You go to 2019, July 10th. This looks actually very similar to the, oh, this is the fucking before image. This isn't even 6 months ago. This was taken July 10th, 2019. So already this is proving this was not 6 months. But anyways, if you look at his before and after, the picture on the left is a picture he posted July 10th, 2019. Rare picture of me outside of my room. It's the exact same image. It's just cropped a bit differently. Anyway, that kind of throws a wrench into things. So this is a year transformation, at least, that he's referring to here. But anyways, moving forward, 2019, you see a bit of a six-pack in this video. He's kind of lean. Really, again, though, just a skinny kid who obviously, when he's doing stuff outside, not gaming all day, he has a reasonably low body fat percentage, but he still doesn't really have any muscle. And going forward to November 1st, 2019, again, hasn't really done much. Going forward to February 16th, we see a little bit of size being put on perhaps. And he's sitting on the Sea-Doo here. And then we get to today, and all of a sudden this kid is saucy as all hell. And when I say that, I'm exaggerating, because obviously in the fitness community, this is not like, people are gonna be like, of course it's not gear, it's totally naturally achievable. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But the amount of change that's occurred, you can't tell me this guy hasn't been in a gym in his entire life, and all of a sudden for 6 months he's just like on it. And even if you get newbie gains, like newbie gains, yes, you can get like steroid-like results within your first like 6 to 12 months of training. Like, everyone knows that. But this is not newbie gains. Anyone who's seen this kid's physique before and what he was working with can make an educated assessment here, who's done gear, that this is not the kind of change you see in this kind of an individual if you had him as a client and you started him on a workout regimen, going from this in November to within a handful of months later looking like this. I don't think that is natural for 9 out of 10, probably even 99% of people who start working out. This guy has gained only lean mass. He's gotten no fatter, despite, you know, if you're in a calorie surplus, even if you're like, to put on the amount of weight he did and how much lean weight it is relative to his baseline. And everyone's going to say, like, you know, again, the newbie gains thing, everyone's going to go back to that. Of course, that's naturally achievable. It's not a crazy physique, blah, blah, blah. This guy looks better than 99% of people at your gym already within 6 months. People who've been training at your gym for 5+ years, probably most of your friends who, you know, follow their macros and take their fucking vitamins and do this and that. In 6 months, he's already surpassed like 99% of the population. And this is what he used to look like in 2016. And this is what he looked like just a few months ago in November. Like, dude, come on. To me, this doesn't look natural. I am going to go, like, I could see why people would think, oh, it's kind of like on the fence, or no, of course it's natural. Look at his physique. It's not that impressive. It's like, dude, look at the change. Look at the time frame. Look at his baseline that he was working with. He's a lean individual when he's, you know, not sitting on a gaming chair all day. but he's not somebody who packs on muscle super easily by the looks of it. He's been walking around like a classic, skinny kid for his entire life. And then within 6 months, he's ballooned up to somebody who looks like he could step on a men's physique stage and do half decent at an entry-level show. So no, I don't think it's natural. As far as what he took in particular, obviously that's just even, more deep dive speculation on this. But there's not very many options that newbies go to. Like, is he going to be, I did a video on the D-ball only cycle gangster a while ago, and that was like a classic go-to starter, steroid that a lot of people use haphazardly when they don't know what they're doing a lot of the time. I'm not saying D-ball only cycles don't make sense in some contexts, but they're typically, the individuals who do them are typically not doing it for the very, very hyper-specific situations that I'd be referring to. And they're more so doing it because it's easily accessible, it's cheap, it's not faked very often, it's very effective, and it's seen as one of the, like the quote-unquote go-to like newbie steroids, essentially, that you're gonna get sick results from. And like my guess, and like what else do people do? They do testosterone only, or they do like, the problem is a lot of these high-profile guys, you'd think they'd have access to good information and they would utilize it. But I've been shocked over the years, like how many high profile guys, like as I've started to build up my following a bit, high profile guys coming out of the woodwork and like letting me know what they've done, what their friends have told them to do and shit. And it's just like, it's baffling how dumb some of the stuff is that like, you have like some guy who is, has access to whatever high quality information he would want. And then he's still doing like the most absurd fucking cycle you could think of. So I wouldn't be like, most individuals who don't really dig into this stuff, they're probably gonna go like an oral only cycle or something on their first cycle. And for Tfue, that's probably what he did. One of my guesses would be to presume he did a classic, like testosterone only, the obvious, like go-to that most people makes the most sense to do. The bioidentical hormone we endogenously produce, you know exactly what to expect from it. There's tons of clinical data going as high as 600 milligrams on healthy young men, showing high levels of tolerability and safety with very predictable outcomes and, very, very attractive benefits in terms of muscle growth and performance. So, but you're still gonna have the needle shy, beginners who just really don't want to use test, despite it probably making the most sense. And they'll go with the D-ball only, or like an Anavar only, or a Winstrol only, or SARMs only. And maybe that's what he did. I would not be surprised if this was like the result of not bloating up, but just hyperinflating himself with D-ball. And like, he was already pretty lean to begin with, obviously, or he's at least capable of getting really lean, as we've seen in his previous images in his, early Instagram posts, that when he's not sitting on a chair all the time, he has a visible six-pack without really trying, it seems like. And now the six-pack is back, and he has simultaneous size added all over his traps, his delts, his arms, his chest, his entire body. It looks like it's gained, 20 pounds in a matter of a handful of months. Like, the likelihood is very high, in my opinion, that he at least did, an oral cycle of one of the go-to newbie orals that most people are gonna go to just because of ease of use for oral administration versus, injecting something. Or, the more obvious and thing that would make the most sense if he was not a needle shy individual and wanted to do the thing properly would be testosterone only. So that's probably what we're looking at in this situation, something like that. Maybe SARMs only. I doubt it though. For the amount he gained in the short span of time, I bet he went the full saucy route. So that is my guess on what he did. Obviously I could be wrong, but just based on my educated guess, seeing physiques over the years, seeing my own response to hormones, seeing tons of people's responses to hormones, seeing people I've done consults for, this, that, every single, almost a decade of researching this stuff, I have a pretty good eye for it at this point. And to me, this is a bit, suspect. So take from that what you will. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think this is natural or enhanced? Like, looking, like straight up go to his November image, November 1st, 2019, and then compare it to the image now and tell me that that is achievable naturally that would be like almost 8 months since that picture was taken. But like, I certainly did not make this drastic of a change for my first 8 months. I look nowhere near this for a couple years even. And while it was natural, like I was not even close to striking distance of this amount of progress that he made from November 1st, 2019 to yesterday's picture, in even my first couple of years. And, you know, some people, like, for me to assume that this guy has like miles better genetics than I had when our baselines are pretty much the same, like rail kid, I highly doubt it. This looks like sauce to me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Based on that, like look at it objectively and just let me know. And because the comments help the algorithm, so they're much appreciated when you guys drop them down there. And if you subscribe and like, obviously that helps and keeps you posted when I post. So definitely subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram at @moreplates_more_dates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to see other content related to bodybuilding pharmacology, physique development, performance enhancing drug use, check out the rest of my channel. A lot of risk management in there, a lot of safer practice when it comes to performance enhancement and how to make more calculated approaches to your health and longevity when it comes into the context of, you know, bodybuilding in the realm of putting yourself in harm's way for, you know, body composition outcomes or performance outcomes. That is a lot of what my channel is geared towards, no pun intended. So if that interests you, I highly recommend you subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, if you are seeking hormone optimization or testosterone replacement therapy, anything and everything hormone related, whether it's a deficiency, an imbalance, I compel you to reach out to them, talk to the patient care coordinators. They'll get your bloods drawn, go through them with you, start to finish, A to Z, address any kind of imbalances or deficiencies or blatant issues they see that may rear their ugly head down the line in some sort of health complication or just in a, you know, lack of quality of life or some other deleterious outcome that you would benefit from addressing. If you want to kind of like proceed and talk to the doctor from there, it's all telemedicine through Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, and it's very convenient like that. You have your consult with the doctor, you go through everything again and kind of address what medication you may benefit from or if your current status of health warrants anything to begin with. And from there, you kind of design a protocol that is tailored to you specifically. And then if you want to save $50 off your first treatment, if you end up getting medication, then you can use the coupon code MPMD50 to save $50 off your first order. If you want to support the nootropics and pre-workouts that I formulate, I compel you to check those out as well. Gorilla Mind Nootropics, those are bar none the best cognitive enhancing supplements on the market, whether it's for gaming, whether it's for studying, whether it's for business presentations, whether it's for anything work related, essentially maximizing your mental clarity, your sharpness, your productivity, information retention. That's essentially what they're designed for, and they do a very good job. And they do a very good job at it. And I highly recommend you try them out if you are somebody seeking to get that edge in the productivity space, whether it is for work, school, whatever it is. It's basically all the stuff I used when I was a university student to help me push through my ridiculous cramming sessions and whatnot. And now into my working years that I use to knock out 16+ hour workdays. And as well as the pre-workout formulas, obviously self-explanatory what those are. I compel you to just pull out your current pre, compare the label to mine. You'll quickly see why I recommend it so much. You know, we're pretty transparent about why ours are a top of the industry pre. And, you know, it becomes pretty obvious when you compare your current pre to ours. Just look at the label side by side and you'll see pretty quick why I constantly am plugging it. So recommend you check that out if that is of interest to you. And anything else I'm associated with, check it out, video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.